pretty clear that the Minnesota Vikings and quarterback JEROME Ezekiel Cousins, that this year is going to be the last dance. All the options of extending him sort of been pushed off to the side. Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell and Mark Wilf have been very non-committal about Kirk Cousins beyond this season, so it does seem like this is going to be it. And of course, there is the draft coming up. The Vikings could make a move or potentially even stick and pick and find their quarterback of the future that way. But what if I told you that there was a young quarterback heading into year 3, hasn't really gotten the time of day, has a very high draft pedigree, and of course is the pride of the University of North Dakota State University, go Bison, as well as the pride of Marshall, Minnesota. I can't woo right now because of the voice. Anyways, Trey Lance is reportedly on the block, and RAPSHEET reported this on Wednesday morning. Sources, the 49ers have received inquiries from several teams looking into a potential trade for former number 3 overall pick Trey Lance. The conversations have been the result of San Francisco fielding the calls, not making them, with teams aware that Brock Purdy is likely the future starter. And the Niners right now have Brock Purdy, although he's coming back from UCL surgery, as well as slinging Sam Darnold. Fantastic, man. So Trey Lance could be the odd man out, even though they're only 2 years removed from trading 3 ones and a third-round pick to go from 12 to 3, which made me go from 6 to midnight, going up and getting Trey Lance in the 2021 draft. But if this is a trade spot to bring Trey Lance home, is it finally time to reunite JEROME Ezekiel Cousins, who's in the final year of his contract and would only cost the Niners $10 million cap space, to reunite him with Kyle Shanahan? And it feels so good. That's right. And yes, is it time for a little swappy swap? I would have to consider it, man. You would have to consider it. And, of course, teams have reportedly been calling the Niners. And, of course, Kwesi came up in the Niners R&D department. And John Lynch was a bit of a quasi-mentor for Kwesi. So, obviously, that line of communication would be wide open, man. Absolutely it would. And Trey is on his rookie deal. Vikings would only inherit a rookie contract, so it's no muss, no fuss. And I mean, it could be a spot where you trade for Trey Lance to be Kirk's backup for a year, or do you trade Kirk Cousins to the Niners and have Trey Lance be your starter? And then you also still look into the draft, or you look to bring in a bridge veteran quarterback to be with Trey Lance and Nick Mullins. I don't know. But either way, even though, yes, he's already burned through 2 years of his rookie deal, you still have 2 more years on the base rookie deal, as well as a potential 5th-year option to evaluate if he's the guy. And remember, I mean, Trey Lance was the number 3 overall pick for a reason. The Niners and John Lynch and the great San Francisco scouting department did their due diligence. And even though Trey Lance had 1 year of experience essentially at NDSU, like, he was deemed the guy. And looking back on the scouting report since we're in draft season, it's from Lance Zerline at NFL.com, draft projection round 1. Overview. 1-year starter who dazzled in 2019. Lance is mature for his age, but will be just 20 years old at the time in 2021 NFL Draft. He's a rare dual-threat quarterback in that he's tasked with setting his own protections and reading the full field. Coaches rave about his football IQ and film work. They believe he will come into the league more football savvy than most quarterbacks in this draft. Tape shows a very average arm strength, but velocity should improve with better lower body drag, while his recognition of coverage danger is a plus. He's currently more of a yellow light quarterback who needs to find a green light, risk-taking mentality to become a playmaking talent in the NFL. An offense corner willing to blend his run-pass talent and with a play-action attack could get the most out of Lance, who should become a good NFL starter. And Trey Lance has been working out this offseason with Patrick Mahomes. He's really tightened up his release, because he did have an elongated release. It was a little bit like Byron Leftwich, and now it's Marino adjacent, man. And Trey really has not gotten the time of day with the Niners. 2021, he got some garbage time reps behind Jimmy G. And then last year, he was a starter for 2 games before breaking his ankle and then giving way to Jimmy G. And then after Jimmy G got hurt, it was a Brock Purdy show. So, I don't know. Like, it's hard to evaluate him off of his first 2 seasons. And I'm not buying all of the hoopla. I was like, oh, yeah, Trey Lance is not it. He's not ready to go, blah, 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 blah. It is the ultimate mama, I can change him spot. And, of course, Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi, I'm sure, had their thoughts on Trey Lance 2 years ago in the draft when they were on the Rams and the Browns, respectively. I'm sure they have dossiers. I'm sure the scouting department has a full package on Trey Lance as well. So it's something that they certainly could and should revisit. And is now the time to bring the pride of Marshall, Minnesota home? It's possible, man. It's possible, but I don't know. Is it just a Yankee swap? Like, are we actually able to flex more out of this? Like, can we get Trey Lance and a third and a fifth for Kirk Cousins? I mean, it's possible. It's possible, man. But again, this is BS season. This is all options are on the table season. This is all trades are possible until they're not season. So who really knows? But I think that it's very unlikely that Trey Lance is going to be on the Niners roster this year. But could a quarterback needy team who strikes out on a QB in the draft potentially make a move for him? It's possible. And also, a scenario is like, say the Vikings don't move up from one of the big four quarterbacks, and maybe they miss out on Hendon Hooker, and they're sitting and chilling their day two as the Niners are approaching their 3 third-round picks. Do the Vikings make a move then? Do the Vikings package Cousin for Trey Lance and a couple of those third-rounders? Maybe, but we shall see. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. RAPSHEET reporting that the Niners have received phone calls about the availability of Trey Lance in a trade. Is it time? Is it time? Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.